Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to review the film Frankenstein, and in honor of that, wearing my Frankenstein's monster ring. So let's go. So this film, it starts off with a warning for the audience because if you don't know, apparently when this film came out, it was so shocking and controversial, and nothing had ever been seen before. That they actually put a trigger warning, basically, because women were reports of fainting out or passing out. They were fainting. They were, just horrified, screaming, and all kinds of stuff. So, that's pretty interesting in itself. The film is, of course, based on the book by Mary Shelley of the same thing. And one thing I noticed that whenever they're talking about it in films like these, they talk about the players and they say everything. The monster does not actually have a credit. It just says the monster with a question mark. And so for those of you that do know, of course, it's played by the great Boris Karloff. But at the time, I don't know if anybody even knew. I don't really know how popular he was back then. Especially, with under that makeup and everything. But my cat, I was watching the film, and my cat, Church, she was very interested in the beginning graveyard scene. I don't know what it was about it, but she started kind of climbing up on the TV or on the TV stand and trying to look at everything. It was just cute. But the one thing that, they're talking and everything, and Igor's there trying to help him, and he's kind of trying to talk the doctor out of it, I think. And he's like, oh, we can't do this live and all that. And then Frankenstein goes, oh, what are the lives of a couple of cats and dogs? It's like, okay, dickhead. But, it is what it is. So whenever the fiance and her friend and then the other doctor are worried about Dr. Frankenstein, they go to his lab door and they all keep saying, Henry, Henry, Henry. That I thought was just funny. And he tells the doctor about the grave robbing, and then he said he could actually go away for robbery is basically what the doctor says. I don't know. That whole thing was just kind of whatever. But whenever they actually do the experiment and the monster comes to life, that is an incredible, did I say incredible enough times, performance by the great Colin Clive, who plays Henry Frankenstein. That scene, and there's a reason it is parodied and mimicked and stuff all the time, is because it is incredible, my friends, and really it is just a stellar acting performance from him. Everybody did a great acting job, of course, but that specific scene was just very insanity. Speaking of, though, the first view that we get of the monster is an amazing deadpan stare, and it's so terrifying. And it's incredible. And then whenever he's trying to learn all the different things, and they open up the thing, and he looks up and sees the moon, and he just starts reaching for it. That was incredible too. Everything about this is really just incredible. And it's tragic too. That's the whole thing about the monsters. It's a big tragic story. But then, instead of, later on, the doctor says that he is going to destroy the monster because, it's just an abomination and all that. He doesn't, and then he actually ends up dying for it. So I'm not saying that he should have killed the monster, but it's like, if you were going to do all that, you probably should have at least done, if you already had that in mind, you probably should have done it, or made sure that he couldn't kill you. So that ends up happening. And then, of course, there's the infamous scene where we see the monster go into the village, and he runs across this 3-year-old girl. And now, let me say this. This scene is infamous in so many reasons. They're picking flowers, throwing them into the water, and of course, he has an abnormal brain, doesn't understand what's going on. Well, he runs out of flowers, and then throws the little girl into the water, and she drowns. Now, I understand things are different times back then. Let me just go on that. But I don't know what world you're going to let a 3-year-old go by herself. I'm sorry. And that's the thing. She's not the actress was not 3. She had to have been at least 6. But the point is, I don't know what, that's the thing. It's one thing if you don't lock back then you didn't lock your doors, you trusted your neighbors and all that kind of stuff, fine. But you're going to let a 3-year-old go there? That I found absolutely preposterous. But maybe people did that, and I would just find them absolutely preposterous. But speaking of the little girl, a nice, cool behind-the-scenes thing I read once was that when they were filming this, the little girl actually asked Boris Karloff if she could ride to the set with him, and his response was just, "Would you, dear?" I thought that was just really sweet and really awesome, and the fact that she was just able to see him as a man, you know, as a person. So that was just great. And then, of course, after the death, we see the dad walking in the middle of the town, just with his daughter draped in his arms. That was just very, very grim. Everyone just starts screaming and everything. And so then, of course, it's, you know, the angry mob comes, and then I don't think this was a big thing back then, like the angry mob. I think it was still relatively new. And anyway, so they chase him out to the windmill, and then they burn the windmill. And the monster, the way that Boris Karloff portrayed this is just screaming the whole time. It's just horrific. It is just absolutely terrifying, and heartbreaking, and really all of the above. The whole film that's just a good way to sum it up. It's terrifying and heartbreaking. And Dracula's always been my thing. I think I already said that, but as the years have gone, and I've watched this since I was 8 or whatever, you know, I really have found Frankenstein to be it's up there, and there's a reason it is. It's really incredible and just masterful. But if you have not seen it, I highly recommend watching it. You need to check it out if you're a Halloween kind of guy or gal or person like myself. But check it out if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it, tell me what you think in the comments below, and I will be back with something soon. Until then, take it easy, my friends.